Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. I put some time in on this is known as a Carter Talon, and it seems like this thing is sold under a bunch of different names and horsepowers and options, but a lot of them more or less have the same basic build. Some of them look a little different in the front. I know this is a Carter because it says so on it, and then when you look up the body style, you find that it's a Talon, T-A-L-O-N, Talon. Just to remind you guys, it kind of burned up. Matter of fact, one could almost read something off of there. I cleaned it all up. I pressure washed it. I blew it out. Right, you guys could see. You could see some of the kind of writing the pressure washer does. I used the cheap $79 on sale Harbor Freight pressure washer to get it to this current condition. Now that it's in this current condition, it's time to make some decisions. What would I like best? What I would like best is, quite honestly, to find another one of these that's been run really, really hard and to get it for parts. And I think those tires are aimed in the right direction. Right? Because normally you point in the direction of travel. Front and back, right? You're pointing in the direction of travel. So that's one possibility. A second possibility, just looking at this, I mean, literally, it needs to be sandblasted stem to stern, front to back, up and down and all around. I do not own a sandblaster. I don't own one. Not that I have anything against them. I don't own one. Never had a reason to own one until now. I just think, cleaning it up. I mean, if I just had to clean up from here, down to there, it would be one thing. But even after I do all the top pipes, I mean, just look how long it's going to take, to do this back rack and all around the gas tank. And then look at all down there. Even with the seats coming out, it's just gonna take forever to, sandpaper and back and forth, right? So I am going to need a sandblaster for this, and given that I have no experience, I'm going to ask right now. Sandblasters, from my research, come in everything from a tiny little handheld that you kind of hold up against it, and it recycled some of the sand. That just strikes me as if it's too small, and I'm going to be putting sand in it every 30 seconds, so that's not going to work. Then they come in, 20-pound version, give or take a little bit, that you put on your back. And it's nice because it's portable and you kind of blast away and all that. That might be big enough to do this. It might not. I'm just, quite honestly, I'm just not sure. Then I see them in, 50, 80, 100, 120 pound. And what they look like is a canister, red, typically stand up 3 foot tall or so. And I guess you pick a spot on your property where you don't care if some sand lands, or you put it on a tarp and you sandblast it on a tarp, and then you shovel the sand back into it and you keep going. I know sand, you have to keep it dry, because if you don't keep it dry, it clumps up, and that makes the whole process a lot more work. I'm cognizant of that fact. So if you guys could, if anybody had to face a project like this and tell me what they've done to successfully sandblast it, I'd appreciate that information. And that's first of all. So I got to clean it up. I got to sandblast it, and that's one thing. Second thing, engines, and I'm back to kind of scratching my head a little bit on the engine on this thing. The OEM engine was 150 cc's. It did have reverse, which was kind of this cable looking on the inside planetary gear type situation on the sprocket, the rear sprocket of the engine that feeds down to this. I thought it was a brake, but it turns out that is reverse. The OEM engine was involved in this fire. Gasoline dripped down and got on it. And my concern for the OEM engine is not that it's not functional, but the flywheel took quite a bit of heat, and I'm afraid once I get it started up, it's going to throw the magnets on the flywheel, and then I'm going to be out fishing for a flywheel. And sometimes these flywheels are very nice and universal, and sometimes even model year to model year for exactly the same engine from the same Chinese manufacturer. They varied the stators and the flywheels so things don't quite go together so that they all work. So that's my concern about the OEM engine. I have an engine to smash on this thing that's 110 cc's with reverse, 3 speeds plus reverse, 110 compared to 150. I don't know, I'm thinking the 150 would be working pretty hard at hauling this thing about. It weighs, I don't know, 500 pounds or so. 350 maybe. Call it 350 pounds. Call it 400 pounds plus or minus 50. That's a pretty accurate thing. With the engine on it, yeah, 400 pounds plus or minus 50. So between that and you put a body in there, 110 cc's, even with the transmission it seems a little light, but so there's that possibility. Then there's the last possibility, getting all of this where it's supposed to be, and then in this space here putting a 200cc Predator engine, torque converter, and a reverse gearbox for a go-kart. It actually becomes part of the torque converter, and using that to drive this thing. So those are my three choices. Well, actually I have a fourth choice. One of my subscribers says he has one of these that I guess it's in pieces, but it has 250 cc's, and for the life of me, I remember him mentioning it to me, and he's just recently mentioned it to me again, but I don't remember the story on the cart. So I got to get back in touch with him, and I think maybe it had a wiring problem. So I just saw a comment in from last night from him also. So this is that's yet another possibility. So I guess there are 4 possibilities. But no matter what I'm going to do from an engine point of view, I'm kind of a distance from that because I got to get this cleaned up and painted. One does not ride on that seat there. One doesn't ride on that seat at all. That's kind of why I wouldn't mind getting a trashed one and try to get the seats out of it. At least if there's some seat left, I can rebuild something. If there's anything left, I can kind of do something with it. If there's just nothing there, there's nothing there, and it's hard to go forward. Anyway, guys, let me know about the sandblaster, because I can't leave it like this. It's just not good. I think you'll see videos on the coming days where I try to do something with the steering and, you know, stuff like that. Let's make sure the back is, yeah, it bounces. This is going to be a long project. It's this isn't going to be just a wham bammer. This is going to take a little while. Anyway, folks, I appreciate you all watching. Let me know about sandblasters. I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your heads up, and please, please get out there and enjoy all your days. Bye now, folks.